So Sid, I'd like to ask you about a phrase which is almost the mantra of the consultancy projects, which is the phrase data, dollars, deals. Now, I even heard this phrase before I ever supervised a project for you. It's something that the students have got impressed upon them in lectures. But can you say a bit more about why those three words, why they're so important?
Yeah, let's start with data. When you do a consulting project for maybe a major company, it's very challenging because the company is very large and complex, and you wonder, how on earth can I make a contribution? You know that you don't know very much about the company, but you've no idea what you don't know. The good thing about doing consultancy is that, in fact, what the client needs you to do is teach the client something the client doesn't already know. Not everything the client does already know. So your only task is to interrogate the client and interrogate the world until you find pieces of data which you haven't yet got, which will actually be enough evidence to make the client do something new. So your job is to identify what data can you collect that your client doesn't yet have, which will be good enough to guide the client to change the way the business operates, invest, or whatever it is.
Just while we're on that, I know that you can be quite critical of students who've gone out on the web and found some information which appears to be new data, but you might argue is low-hanging fruit, data that's easy to get. Why is that so much of a problem?
Really changing the way a company operates inside its business area actually involves doing deals, doing different deals. There's no such thing as a market. You know, the car market. There's no company that sells every kind of car in every market by every channel to every kind of person. There is no, in fact, single market. There are multiple segments of customers, multiple segments of distribution. Businesses are in that world. They are looking actually to do deals. Business doesn't happen unless two or more players get together and exchange money and claims to actually produce a deal. So, in essence, you want to end up doing deals. No deal, there is no business. You know, if you haven't got a deal in there and you haven't talked about the terms of the deal, you aren't yet doing business. You're certainly not competent to be a chief executive. So deals are where we end up. Mm-hmm. What drives deals? You've got to find what is the relevant data. What does your client not yet know about how people buy that kind of asset in the Middle East? What are the processes? How many of them are there? How do they segment in terms of how big they are and how many they'll buy at once? All of this factual data is stuff the client doesn't have, and your job as a student in that particular situation, a student consultant, is quite simply to define what data will be good enough to change the decision, define and check that the client hasn't already got it, certainly won't be on the web, and then go out and get that data. So to bridge between data and deals, you also need to understand dollars. Mm-hmm. So what you need to do is, having got the data, see how many dollars are involved, dollars of cost, dollars for the other guy. If you're not talking about dollars, you're not actually talking about economics at all. So all three things are needed. If you don't get data, you're writing an essay. If you don't get dollars, you're just talking in percentages. You haven't got anything that actually anybody can count and take home to the bank at the end of the day. And you won't get dollars without actually striking deals. Players all the way along a supply chain have to be satisfied with the exchanges they make with the people either side of them. So those are absolute essentials for doing a piece of valid consultancy at a senior level in business.
Okay.